something else happened that totally surprised me. I noticed that about a month later, some of our sea monkeys actually did start to develop an egg sac at the base of their stomachs, and I realized that my sea monkeys must be pregnant. Upon closer inspection, I was able to see the egg sac more defined, and it was so cool to see that each female seemed to hold around 30 to 40 little eggs in the sac. This little experiment ended up turning into an entire breeding ground. There were even a couple other sea monkeys that seemed to be stuck together, and that made me believe that one was male and one was female, and I realized that soon we were about to have a lot of babies swimming around in the tank, and we would have to get them a bigger tank. I knew I needed to hype up their home. So I made my way over to the store and got a 10-gallon tank. And while I was there, I really tried to resist it, but I couldn't. I ended up leaving with 7 Neo shrimps to fill the 10-gallon tank and become the brothers and sisters of the sea monkeys. So me getting a new tank for my 5 pregnant sea monkeys turned into me somehow leaving with 7 shrimps. At first, I thought this whole thing would be easy. Put the shrimps in a tank, they'll cohabitate with the sea monkeys, no problem, and everything will be totally fine. Wrong. Confused? Okay, well, allow me to explain. As soon as I added the sea monkeys into the tank, the next morning, they were all gone, and I realized that the shrimps must have had a nice lunch. And I was sad because I had spent a month hatching the sea monkeys, even got them pregnant, and then killed them. Well, look, I still went with it and purchased more brine shrimps from the store to hatch into more sea monkeys in a separate tank, but also thought that now we have to take care of these shrimps. At first, I didn't even buy a 10-liter tank. I bought a 3-liter tank and tried to make a Wallstad tank with no filter, adding live plants as I went, which did work and created a self-sustaining ecosystem where plants, bacteria, and microorganisms work together to maintain water quality and support a healthy aquatic environment. That thrived for a while until I felt bad for my shrimpies and realized they would need more space, which is where the 10-liter tank comes into play. I added a lot of live plants, 3D printed some shrimp cubes and tunnels, and after just a few weeks, I noticed all the shrimps were so happy. We had an abundance of them, but we had an abundance of snails and these weird little swimmers that I realized later were called amphipods. And they both came from the live plants that I bought. And they started to multiply since they procreate without needing another snail or amphipod, so I had to be careful because soon they could infiltrate the dealer and eat all of the shrimps. So as I watched to make sure they didn't overtake the tank, I then noticed something else. All of the shrimps started to get pregnant, and in order to get pregnant, shrimps must be really happy in their condition since they do need a male to mate. And look, I started to document the process of the pregnant shrimps, and soon we had what seemed to be like thousands of baby shrimps swimming and fluttering around the entire 10-liter tank. It was really exciting to see such a crazy ecosystem happening before my very eyes. It was